shit. Just play along, me, myself, and I, and no one else. Yo, I'm so legit. Katie Boo, how about you? I was just laying here thinking about you, because why wouldn't I be, troll or not, right? Well, actually, I was watching your, I was relaxing to your, video. The one where you're, and what have you, bring your head back, where you whisper and shit, and that it works. Because most of your shit doesn't. Just saying. Oh, a fucking hour's worth of horse shit. Anyway. Got, 30-second worth of horse. Anyway. You're just so stupid. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You need me in your life, girl. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Hey, you like that ASMR shit? Okay, well, let me fucking tell you how to do it. Oh shit. You don't know shit. I mean, you don't know shit. Anyway, but of course, where you did that video with the dunce. Where you mentioned food. Well, fucking ding, ding, ding. Because like I said, and I'm going to make a video for you, talking about that shit. And as if you need me, right? I mean, just look that shit up, Well, I'll tell you how I do things. And I'll tell you, I mean, okay. Like my vitamins and all that shit, and how I would approach things if I was diagnosed, which I may be someday, right? So, and how it, things would change, if I was, hit with that news. I mean, I've had a CT scan, before, which kind of catches things, on a large scale, like your organs and shit. But, I don't know, like what, my arteries look like, and my, oh, what's that, artery vein or whatever that goes, that feeds your heart, right? Your heart muscle. Because that's all it is a muscle, right? But, which is, based on electricity, and how your biological body works, and just things that you need to kind of, keep in mind. But that horseshit aside, I did that, video saying, hey, look, you need to start eating, but you need to start eating right, you need to eat clean, it's just you need to eat a little bit more fat, eat a steak, ribeye, with some, you know what I mean, and get that in you, and start doing shit. But that sort of got me thinking about that, as you did that audio presentation with the dunce, like, oh, fasting, and oh, you need to eat, and it's like, so you're kind of aware of the concept, maybe a little bit, maybe not as much as me, because like I said, I'm pretty hardcore when it comes to that shit. I can nail that shit. I mean, I've stated that before, how I do things if I need to, get results fast, quick, and in a hurry. And the results that you are looking for is you need to put on some meat. And that might sound a little dumb, but you need to put on some muscle, you know. So, but you know, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't work at a gym. You know, I'm not that guy, but I can tell you how you need to do that. And I was just laying here thinking about you, you know. I was, watching, like I said, boop, 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 watch it and then boop, boop, click back, boop, boop, click back. And, it appears that you're aware of the nutrition game, right? For lack of a better word, the nutrition game, yeah, I don't know. It's mental shit. SC, did that same shit, You don't know who she is, but she's kind of, she's not as bad. She's come out of that funk, that rut. She was in it for, for a minute, and it appears that you're in it too. Like I said, you're working out too much. You're not exercising right. You're not getting the nutrition that you need. And you're a fucking dumb shit. So you look at yourself in the mirror and think, oh, skinny, 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 burn fat. It's like, no, bitch, no. So, anyway, I have feelings for you, troll or not, and I see someone like you, it's like, fuck. Just you're already in a bad fucking way. You're in a bad fucking place, with your mental and shit, and you gotta fucking do that shit too. And again, like I said, it's like you I know it sounds stupid, but you need an outside influence in your life. You need a man. You need a boy toy. You need someone who cares for you and feels for you to say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? So, fuck. Anyway. Unfuck your life. Have a good one with you. Shit.